everything blurred, my daughter Amber was still laughing. Her giggles rang through the air, her tiny feet pattering against the marble floor as she ran in circles, carefree and full of life. Just a minute, I had only left her for a minute, to greet the guests at my husband Mateo's birthday party. And then, a scream, a sharp, heart-stopping cry from the balcony. Time folded in on itself. My head snapped toward the sound just in time to see a blur of pink dress and wild curls. And then she was gone. My feet moved before my mind did, shoving past stunned faces, my breath trapped in my throat. I reached the balcony, and the world tilted, the sight below knocking the air from my lungs. Amber, my baby, lifeless, still, crumpled on the concrete below. The next few minutes were a frenzy of chaos. Voices screaming, hands pulling, my own shrill cries ripping from my throat as I fell to my knees beside her broken body. Mommy's here, baby, Mommy's here. Her small fingers twitched, lips parting in a weak, painful breath. Alive, she was still alive. Call an ambulance, I screamed, my hands shaking as I cradled her head, blood already pooling beneath her. Everything blurred, the sirens, the hospital rush, the doctors barking orders as they wheeled her away. And then after a while, I found her lying in the hospital bed, so small, so fragile. Wires and tubes surrounded her, machines beeping in rhythms that made my heart clench. The fall caused severe internal bleeding, the doctor said. She's in critical condition. We stabilized her, but, he hesitated, glancing between Mateo and me. Her kidneys are failing. She needs a transplant, urgently. I'll do it, I said instantly. Take mine. The words left my lips without hesitation. There was nothing to think about. Nothing to consider. If my daughter needed me, I would give her everything. The doctor nodded. We'll run the tests. Time crawled. The world outside moved, but I stayed frozen, my fingers gripping Amber's tiny hand, whispering prayers under my breath. Her tiny chest rose and fell with shallow breaths. The machines beeped steadily, the sound both comforting and terrifying. I brushed her curls back gently, my heart squeezing at how pale she looked. Mateo sat beside me, silent. His hand was on my back, a steady presence, but I barely felt it. My entire being was focused on Amber. Then the doctor returned, his expression unreadable. I stood, my heart slamming against my ribs. Hope bloomed in my chest. Did I match? A pause. Then, you can't donate. The words hit like a blow. I shook my head, confusion twisting inside me. What? Why not? The doctor's gaze softened. You only have one kidney. Silence. The air in the room shifted, heavy and suffocating. That's impossible, I whispered. How did it happen? Mateo exhaled sharply beside me. Cassandra, he hesitated, then reached for my hand. Remember the kidnapping accident? Years ago, you were stabbed in the stomach. Your kidney was ruptured. It had to be removed. My legs wobbled. I didn't tell you, he continued, his voice laced with guilt. I didn't want you to feel like you'd lost something else. I'm sorry. I stared at him, my mind reeling. How had I not known? How had I gone years without realizing a part of me was missing? But none of that mattered now. Amber. What now? My voice shook. What happens to Amber? The doctor turned to Mateo. You might be a match. We can test you. Mateo nodded immediately. Do it. The moment he disappeared with the doctors, I collapsed into the chair beside Amber's bed, gripping her tiny hand like a lifeline. Mommy.